12:30 p.m. at the moment.
12:30 p.m. And ladies and gentlemen, he still needs to wear a sun hat. That's
AM.
how wonderful the weather is in Australia,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
um,
It's as formal as I get. I
yeah,
apologize.
yeah. Oh, look, we've got someone from Nigeria on the call. Yeah, even more exotic. Great. Well, welcome. So yeah, looking forward to this session. I think it's going to be a good one, right? Definitely worth staying up till 1:30 in the morning for, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get into it. This is our first webinar for the year, which is really exciting. I have to say, we've kind of been hanging on to pushing out this webinar because the team have been busy. We at the back end of last year, we spoke a lot about new features coming in 2022, and the guys have been busy since then. We've released a couple of things, and there's a few features coming out in the coming weeks, and a few more to come in the coming months. So we've been super busy, and hopefully, if you're joining this webinar, hoping for a sneak peek at some of those new things, hopefully we can impress you. There's a video at the back end of this webinar that is definitely worth sticking around for, that talks about our new features that belong to the feature branch called Brain Boost, which is our answer to spaced repetition or spaced learning, which I think is one of the most exciting parts of the platform. But let's talk about why we're here today. The title of this webinar is Boosting Your Training Engagement in 3 Easy Steps. For those of you that are experts on the tool, may have seen some of the content that we're going to cover today. But that being said, I think it's worth circling back, even if you know the platform quite well, to just kind of think about all of the features that are under the hood of EdApp and their value alongside one another. Nowadays, we have features like rapid refresh for quizzing, or the micro-learning piece, which is really the core of what we do. We have user assignment features, certificates, and then getting into Brain Boosts. And all of these features play well together. And on this webinar, if you are an expert but you haven't used rapid refresh, then we definitely encourage you to do so, because this webinar is all about 3 easy steps to activation. Whether you're a first-time user or you've been on the platform for a while and you want to get your teams pumped up for 2022. So let's set the stage here. Our 3 easy steps break down into build, assign, and optimize. And what we mean by this is, firstly, building content. So there are various ways in the platform to spend more time on impact and less time on admin. And we have 4 specific features that really, meet that statement. The second piece is assigning your content. So customizing the learner journey with user groups and language settings, and doing that in an easy and expedited fashion. And then the third piece here around optimizing is making your content absorbable, making it interactive and fun, and speeding up the time of onboarding between delivering that content and seeing the impact of that in the workplace. And Bobby and Jamie work with our customers day in, day out in different markets. And hopefully as we go through this, maybe we might hear a few anecdotes on where we've seen these features be successful, and I guess the practicalities of what we're talking about here. It's great to talk about features and concepts, but I'm sure you guys are tuning in because you want to hear, okay, well, how does this apply to me?
I will say, Luke, it's quite an impressive roll call of international visitors that we've got here.
Wow.
We've got people from Nigeria, India, Namibia. We've got some poor folks stuck in blowy England. We've got India, France, Italy, Albania. The list goes on. So welcome, Romania, lots and lots of people. Barbados, very nice. Wow. Yeah, we've got the US, Lagos, North Carolina. So yeah, look, loving having such an international attendance here. That's really great. And I think, yeah, just from my perspective, and I'm sure Bobby, same with you, like what really resonates about this stuff is that we inevitably always have discussions with our customers talking about agility, efficiency, but most importantly, driving productivity or change or behaviors quickly. And this is what this really speaks to that to me, Luke. When I was having a look at your thoughts and bringing this presentation together, it really just felt like kind of the underlying message here is around efficiency and time to productivity and our ability to really enable that for customers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's get into it. And as always, guys, hit the chat with your comments and questions, and we can tailor this presentation to your requirements. Let's get into build. So as always, we're going to spend a little bit of time in slides and a little bit of time in the tool talking about, how to actually do this stuff. So when it comes to spending more time on impact and less time on admin, a great place to start is actually the services that we offer to help you get started. Yes, we want to show you the tools on how to do it yourself, but there could be no easier way to get started than to say, hey, EdApp, can you do the job for me? And what that looks like is at the very start of that process, if you are new to EdApp and you want to trade in your training, we have an initiative where you can send us a PowerPoint document or some existing training material, and our expert learning team will take that content, reformulate it in the beautiful EdApp engaging experience, and give it back to you and show you the capabilities of the tool. The second part of us developing content for you, if it's of interest, is a solution or an offer called EdApp Content Plus, which is available to all customers who sign up on an enterprise program. And this is basically us providing professional services to build the content for you. Yes, EdApp is all about empowering you to do it yourself. However, if you're time poor, if you don't have the resource, and you want some pretty damn cost-effective resource to build the material for you, Content Plus is really the way to go. We're seeing more and more it being used as a way of kind of catapulting learning programs and getting them started, and kind of, I guess, creating a bit of a buffer for you guys to be able to go in there and build out and wire together your learning programs. But, this is really not the total kind of goal for today. The goal is to tell you that you can, launch your own content and our library content really quickly. So the second point here under building a build and spending more time on impact is launching your learning by leveraging our library. So if you haven't seen it, EdApp has a free and editable learning library that's available on our freemium plans and our paid plans. And what it does is offers you a place to get started with the training. It has content from lots of different industries, for lots of different industries, many different training topics. It's really there to satisfy the fundamentals of your learning program and answer that sort of content that you would never build yourself. For example, sexual harassment training. You kind of want something out of the box. Of course, you want to tailor it to your organization. You want to update the language and the speak so it will resonate with your audience, but you may not want to kind of go into the local legislation and regurgitate that and rebuild that yourself. So we do that for you and then give you an editable environment to shape that up. Bobby's going to take us through the library when we get into the authoring tool in a second. If you guys want to hit the chat with the types of industries that you're from, and the sorts of training material that you might need, we can kind of have a look around and with your interests in mind.
Yeah, I'll just add to that, Luke. I mean, obviously, given the international audience that we've got today, we also have AI translation built into the platform, right? So even if this content is originally developed in English, it doesn't mean that we're not able to deliver to your local regions in local language. We've got 124 languages out of the box ready for translation. And if you're uncomfortable, with some of the imagery because it doesn't represent, perhaps the country that you're operating in, or the people that you're working with, everything is fully editable, right? So you can swap things in, swap things out really easily, and you can still deliver a really powerful, for example, diversity inclusion program in your local country without having to worry about the faces not necessarily representing those that you work with.
Absolutely. Great point there. I tend to forget that now that I'm in Australia and I'm isolated down under, that there is there's a broader world out there that speaks other language other than English.
Yeah.
The second piece here with content creation on spending more time on impact is a feature called Rapid Refresh. Rapid Refresh was launched at the beginning of last year. And I have to say that it is really a revelation in our product. EdApp started with the idea of providing super engaging mobile-first micro-learning. That is very much the core of what we do. Rapid Refresh was introduced as a rapid quizzing tool, a way of identifying knowledge gaps, a way of delivering quick refreshers. And the word rapid really aligns with the way that you develop the content. And you do so by populating your content in a spreadsheet and then uploading those questions to then create a kind of interactive quiz in the tool. I will have to say in recent weeks, I'm talking to more customers than not that want this feature. They're coming to us from platforms like Kahoot and others that offer quizzing functions, but EdApp's Rapid Refresh feature is more robust. It allows more tailoring and it's easier to use. So I think that this is a really brilliant way to get a program started. Yes, of course, you can put together the micro-learning side of things, but a lot of organizations just want that ability to quiz out of the box and get that content up yesterday. So Rapid Refresh is your way to do that. Rapid Refresh is also iterating all the time. We've got new features around analytics. So if you've seen it before, pay attention because the team are releasing features all the time. There's post-quiz summaries like we see on screen here. There's point scores, there's new leaderboard features, et cetera, so super exciting feature. And then the final piece when it comes to building content is our PowerPoint conversion feature. And I spoke about this in probably November last year. I was talking about our goals for upcoming features. And we spoke about the second version of PowerPoint conversion, where you can upload a PowerPoint document that you have on file into EdApp. It will scan the document, pull out the text and imagery, and give you a really incredible starting point to build your material. Iteration 2 is launched. It launched in, I think it was maybe mid-December that we saw it. Pump it up, Jamie. I love it.
I did, mate. I did.
I love it. I love it when we can talk about features that have launched. Obviously, where the team are working hard, so we should give them credit when we get these things out. And another feature, Jamie, that I know you were a huge champion of last year was customized certificates. Although that doesn't really fit in today's webinar, I thought I'd give it a shout out because that was one. I think you made a few enemies in the product team because you wanted that so quickly.
Yeah, I live for that. But yeah, look, I mean, I completely agree with you. It's so nice to kind of go back and think about those presentations maybe that we did last year. Must have been November, December, right? I think possibly I even dressed up as an elf for one of those. But talking about kind of new features that were planned to come out, and then actually seeing them come to life so quickly. Sometimes it kind of blows my mind, right? Like just out of nowhere, the guys just release and then we can go out and start talking to people about it. But yeah, I think, for me, this PowerPoint conversion tool is incredible. The way that it gives you different propositions for the different slide types so that you don't need to think about that work. Equally, yeah, like the certificates are amazing, right? Like I think it really just anyone who's thinking about pushing a kind of academy model, or recognizes the value of the training that they're delivering, and wants to give a tangible asset for learners to then go and add to their professional bio. We've got a super smooth way of adding it now to your LinkedIn profile, for example, where you can download certificates. As administrators, you can start to search across certificates. So yeah, like all of there's so it's mind-blowing, right? There's so many different elements that we're just improving, iterating, while also thinking about additional features that make the whole experience just so much more joyful. Yeah, it's great.
Awesome. Great. Well, that's a nice segue into the tool, I think. We've spoken about these big picture features. Now let's kick off with a little bit of a look into the tool and the content library. That was the first kind of piece of the idea of getting your program launched in rapid succession. So Bobby, I'll hand over to you here. If you can, talk us through the library, if there are any suggestions in the chat on different industries. If you can direct me around, Bobby, I'll follow along.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a lot of responses here, which is great. Construction was one of the first ones that was talked about here. And as you can see on the left-hand side, construction is actually one of the categories there on the left-hand side. And you can see here that we have 42 courses. Now, what's so great about our content library is that it doesn't matter if you're an enterprise or a self-service customer, you might be already well established with the tool, or you could just be someone that's just, in the beginning of your exploration of the platform. These courses can help transform your training platform. And again, what's nice, as Luke's showing you on the screen here, you can preview any of these courses here. You can toggle through the lessons on the left-hand side. You can also change the different formats of the screen. So if you wanted to see what it looked like on a tablet or a desktop computer, for example, you can toggle through those options right there, as Luke's doing right now. And again, what's great about our content library is that you can add this to your selection to be imported into your library. You can also import multiple courses at one time. Again, what's nice about these courses with the white contact card is that they can be edited and branded as well. So, if you don't have a lot of time, instead of, maybe trying to create something from scratch, what you can do here is you can use this as a base, maybe change up a couple of slides, maybe add in a couple of slides that's just specific to your company. And then you're pretty much good to go. Like Luke mentioned before, it just really helps with the rapid improvement and rapid offering. And so you can just import these courses, do some quick edits, and then you can be on your way.
Brilliant. So I'll import those two there, get them added to the account. You can see when we import them, they immediately go in. Let me just visit that idea of customizing the branding as Bobby suggested there. So I might grab this course on cybersecurity. I found this newly added section just today, actually. I probably should have known about it before now, but we've got a newly added section and there's some awesome stuff in there. And I think that if you pay attention to newly added, you can really follow how much content is being added to this library all the time. I'll note that the direction of the library or the content that we pursue is always feedback from customers or organizations vetting EdApp. If you want a course that's not currently in the library, tell us about it and we'll invest some resource to get it in there. But I'll import that one and I'll show you this branding piece. So we've got those courses that come from our library. There's one course in this account already. And just an FYI, guys, I've got the learner experience on the left-hand side of the screen here. EdApp is a fully responsive learning platform, which means that it's going to look great on every device, as we were looking at in preview mode. And if I resize here, I'll just resize it to mobile so we can get a bit of a picture of admin and the learner experience in the different tabs. But if I go to this course around cybersecurity, I can preview it. I can have a look through the material, what it looks like out of the box, but then I can edit. I can go into this content. If, for example, out of the box, this course is appropriate, but potentially this third lesson on preventative measures is not appropriate, then I can draft it or even delete it. I can delete it from the course if we don't want it there. Likewise, I can get into that lesson in that course and start unpacking what's in there and whether it's relevant. So this environment here is called our authoring tool. This is where, firstly, okay, if we like this lesson, we can rebrand it. And as we always do with these webinars, we just pick a brand, just a general brand out of our out of the universe and say, okay, well, let's impersonate Qantas Airways today. And hopefully Jamie and Bobby can jump on a Qantas flight shortly and come and visit us down under, because they just opened up the borders, guys. So get down here.
Be happy to.
So we've got, you can see here, guys, I've just added the logo, added the background here. So this is what you can do. Obviously, take your own brand assets, upload them, and make this cybersecurity course your own. If I save those changes here, the branding obviously saves. But then another important piece of editing is the ability to add and remove content from this module. So for example, if this asset here was incorrect, of course, you could upload a new image of potentially your own, computers or devices to zoom in on, as we're doing with this particular template. If you have a video about your cybersecurity policies or some advice, grab the video template and upload your own content to this lesson. So, again, coming back to the purpose or the theme of today, rapid content development using existing library material is a great way to get started.
And Luke, I'm just going to jump in here, just a couple of things. So firstly, there was a question about whether you were able to author considering perhaps a desktop or PC user community first. So could you show us that view in the editor, please?
Absolutely. So up the top here, we've got this drop down that shows us lots of different devices. If we look at iPad landscape, this gives us a bit of a perspective of that layout. Of course, it minimizes the size of the view because we want to fit in these other elements. But if we want a zoomed up version of this experience, we can also go back to this previous page here and look at the different devices. Is this what you're looking for here, Jamie?
Yeah, I think so. I think just, obviously the kind of point to emphasize here is that EdApp develops content in a responsive way. So whatever you're creating, we are mobile first, because we recognize that a huge number of modern learners will want to access learning on their mobile devices and they want to have a great experience. So it's absolutely critical that you deliver a fantastic small screen experience that really kind of leverages the value of that small screen equity. But because we're responsive designers, you zoom out, that screen equity obviously gets bigger and you can deliver a fantastic experience on PC as well. So the reverse doesn't work, by the way, for anyone who's tried to design something on a PC and then delivered it onto a mobile, not so good, right? But if you go mobile first, as Luke's just demonstrating here, you're always going to deliver a great experience. And then the other thing is, and obviously I don't want to jump ahead, if let us know when you're ready, but we'd love to see that AI translation working as well, please, Luke.
All right. Definitely. Thank you for the hurry up there, Jamie. I tend to get bogged down with the features here, and we've got a few things to cover. So we've covered the library. Let's cover rapid refresh quickly. So for example, we just grabbed a course on cybersecurity from the library. Great way to get started if we want to edit it. However, another way to go about it could be just to create a quiz. If I have my team members and cyber training is pivotal to compliance or just ongoing refresher training, why not just create a quiz around that content? And the way to do that is with rapid refresh. So rapid refresh, as I said, works by adding your content to a spreadsheet, namely your questions, your answers, nominating a correct answer, and then a takeaway. So what your learners should really take away from from the question itself. So once you have your questions, you populate them into this blank template here, this third tab. And I'll just do a copy paste here just to expedite things so we don't run out of time, and save that one. So you're adding your content to the spreadsheet. Once it's in the spreadsheet, then go to and grab that particular spreadsheet. We can see number 50 here, 50 tests this week. That might be a record for me. And if we press continue there, that material is now in our tool, ready to deploy to learners. This is our cyber quiz. So I'm just going to give it that name. Of course, as we did with the other piece, with the micro-learning side of things, we can brand this content. So I'll just go to my desktop here. Actually, I'm just going to go right here, grab the logo, I'll upload it in here. I'll grab our background. Obviously, branding is a great way to kind of improve the visuals and make it feel like your content. And you can do so super quickly, as we see here. If we want to customize the fonts and the buttons and really go deep with branding, you can absolutely do so. So here we have that quiz again. We have logos uploaded. It's an interactive quiz. And then the next step is to schedule that. So maybe it's a one-off quiz that you deliver and it's available for a week or until the end of February. Maybe it's a number of quiz sessions over that period. So if I say, okay, I want to use spaced sessions and I want to deliver this quiz questions over 2 sessions, for example, so 6 questions over 2 sessions, then you would just select weekly here. If we press next and publish this and schedule a quiz, we're away. It's now assigned to all learners and we're ready to go. And if I just flip back to this learner experience here, we'll be able to see it. Let me just exit out of this particular lesson while I grapple with the Zoom window. I'll go back and we can see that quiz now on the home page. So really simple to do, something that you can all do, have a bit of fun with it and get started, something that you guys could publish today even. Awesome. So that's Rapid Refresh. I'm going to leave the PowerPoint conversion demonstration on the shelf. If anyone wants a one-on-one demo of how that functionality works, reach out to us and we can take you through it. But we're running out of time here, so we got to cover the points 2 and 3 of getting started quickly.
Very quickly, Luke, because these are a couple of questions. If we can just go back, can you just quickly show us AI translation and also like the briefcase, how that works? Sorry, I know we're pressed for time, but we've got a couple of questions.
Absolutely. AI translation was on the list for the next section, but let's get into it here. So we just played around with cybersecurity. You saw that it's a course that's authored in English. All of the text content throughout is in English. Let's take that content and find another language to translate it to. And I'll just stop down just quickly. So to do it, you go to a course, up to course settings, more, new translation, and then you select this translation that you want to move to. So thinking about our European partners, maybe we want the Finnish language, press translate here. What we're doing is scanning the entire existing file of learning for all of the text and then performing the translations on the fly. So this works with library content or your own content that you've built. If I jump back into this module here that we were just looking at, you can see all of the instructions and text throughout have been edited and updated. And very importantly, when it comes to translation, the accuracy is very high. We see up to 90% accuracy with languages that are similar in nature. But very importantly, where you do need to make those edits, you can do so super quickly in the tool itself. And you would do it via these fields. So Jamie, is that answering that question there?
Very good.
Awesome. Cool. So that's language translation. The other piece, called the briefcase, is a way to upload additional documentation to any course. So each course that we have here has a briefcase. If we jump in and we edit and we go under course settings here, go to the briefcase, we can upload supporting documentation. Jamie, tell me, I guess briefcase document.
Beefcake, yeah, it's 12, it's midnight. I'll give you.
Can come in all shapes and sizes. What do you see being uploaded to the briefcase?
Yeah, I mean, predominantly, so it will be long form policy and procedural documents often get added to the briefcase. So perhaps the learning will just focus on the context of how policies, for example, apply to working practice. But then if people need a reference guide to return to, a downloadable reference, and obviously the briefcase is a great asset for that. Equally, I feel there's a bond of trust that happens between the kind of administrators and authors and their learners, where everyone understands that micro learning takes 2 to 5 minutes to complete. So to respect that, where, for example, a longer form video might be required, or some asset that takes a lot longer to get through needs to be included, then it's a great way of just kind of signposting and providing that asset alongside, rather than kind of within the learning experience.
Great point there. Great point there, Jamie. That's a common question that I hear. How long can EdApp training be? How long can a lesson be? And the answer to that question is that there is no limit to the length of a lesson, but we endorse the idea of micro learning. So between 3 and 7 minutes worth of content per lesson. And that point of, okay, if you've got a really extended video, put it in the briefcase. I love that. I really love that idea. Okay, let's get back to the presentation here, and thanks for picking me up on a few questions there. That's why we're doing this webinar. The second piece of launching with these 3 steps to boosting engagement is assigning courseware, onboarding your learners to the program, and then subsequently customizing their pathway once they're in. This process starts with inviting your team to the platform. There are 3 methods that you can use to invite learners to your EdApp account. They all exist on our free plan if you're just testing EdApp for the first time. So you can invite people to your account today if you want. The first is called an invite code or an invite link. And we see the QR code on screen. This links to a landing page where your learners can sign up if they like. So this is one way to invite learners. If you don't have their emails on file, or it's an optional training program that you want to just post around your organization and encourage your audience to participate, an invite QR code is a great way to do it. Quick scan of the code, they download EdApp, or they go to the web version, sign up with an email and a password, and they're into your training. The second method is called an email invite, where you can upload a spreadsheet of email addresses to the system, and automatically everyone is sent their login instructions and a temporary password to get in with. The third option is integration. Integration is seamless. We can set up single sign-on. You can use our API to bring users into the platform. Probably not as rapid as the 2 previous solutions mentioned, but understanding that EdApp is used by enterprise right around the globe. So we really make it our business to make sure that integration can be set up easily. And we work with partners of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got an obscure platform, I guarantee we've heard of it before. So then the second piece about customizing pathways is putting your learners into groups. User groups is the feature in EdApp that underpins your ability to segment your audience by department or by role, give them different content, and ultimately reflect on analytics when you're capturing data for those groups. I have a little map here on screen. I think it's just a very simple map of nested user groups, just to depict, what's possible. Of course, for very large organizations may have 1,000 user groups. So every organization is different. But what we're trying to demonstrate here is that maybe you have parent user groups by department or by country. Within that, perhaps you have subgroups by region. If in sales, for example, it's typical to kind of break up sales teams by region. And then under that subgroup, you've got your learners that belong to those. In addition to that, potentially you've got another set of groups that are role-based. For example, a manager group, which Jamie here can be a part of. Jamie can be a manager, and he can also belong to the New South Wales territory in the sales department. And this will give you ultimate flexibility to be able to, break up your audience and give them different content at different times. Moving forward, it's worth, if we're talking about user group segmentation, it is worth talking about dynamic user groups. Just quickly, dynamic user groups is our way of creating or assigning courseware automatically to learners based upon the attributes that you peg to them in your system. So this is a scenario where maybe EdApp is feeding off the database that you have in your payroll or your HRIS or another learning management system. We're automatically pulling that data in real time into EdApp. We're capturing the attributes, not only the learner's email address or their unique ID, but their role, their department, their level, etc. That informs EdApp user groups, and we give them the right content. Speaking further about user assignment or course assignment and the things that we're doing in 2022 here, one of the features that we spoke about at the back end of last year is a feature that's still coming soon. It hasn't been launched just yet, but it's all about automated compliance refreshers. That's what we're calling it. And simply put, it's a way for you to set up rules for your audience to be automatically repeated content at a cadence that you specify. So for example, if it's an annual compliance refresher that's delivered this month and you want it to return next February for your learners to engage with, these features will allow you to do that. Likewise, if it's enrolling a learner into courseware subsequent to onboarding them this month. For example, if they complete their onboarding in February, give them level 1 in 6 weeks' time. That is also part of this kind of feature branch. A lot to unpack, and we could kind of go down the rabbit hole here. If anyone's interested in this functionality and kind of an unpacking of what it includes, there's another webinar that we ran, and we can certainly give you a link to it, or just jump on a call and talk to you about what we're doing. The final piece of customizing pathways is language translation, which we spoke about. Awesome. Demoing the kind of customization of pathways. I'll do this super quickly here. Really what you probably need to know about inviting learners and customizing what they see really comes down to inviting users, which in the admin lives under this tab here, invite users. You can invite them with the dynamic links that we spoke about. You can upload a spreadsheet of users and enroll, people today, if you like. And then the integration piece is obviously something that we can give you our APIs, we can give you our docs, and you can dig into yourself. Under the user groups tab here, this is where we break up the audience. And for kind of to mimic what we were looking at in that diagram just a second ago, we've created some dummy groups. So the sales parent group, and then the children that belong to that group, New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, or Singapore. We've got a marketing parent group, groups by role, groups by, department, etc. If I go into sales here, actually, let me just jump back. I'll go to Sales New South Wales and just show you the kind of inner workings of the user group. So super simple, assigning learners to that group, assigning managers to that group to view the analytics and performance of their team members, assigning courseware, and then other settings around registration that you might want to manage as well. That covers off the second section there around assign. Any questions, guys, before I reveal the incredible video for Brain Boost Iteration 2?
No, I think people are with you. There's a few kind of questions as we're going through here, just like around kind of functionality and things like that. We're trying to answer them as we go, but I think the message here is please feel free to reach out to us, and we're happy to support you with one-on-one sessions, as Luke said there. If you want to route everything through Bobby, I think he put his email address in there, or me, it's jamie@edapp.com, or Luke. Are you Luke@edapp.com?
I am. Yeah.
He's one of the OGs like me, right? So
I claim the Luke.
Yeah, so great. So yeah, so you can hit us on email, and we'll come back to you. It may not be us that ends up meeting with you, depends on region and stuff like that. But yeah, feel free to reach out, but we'll try and answer as many questions as we can. Other than that, no, you're doing great, mate. Keep going.
Awesome. So let's talk about, just before I show the video, I don't want to blow the roof off before we talk about what Brain Boost is. Let me just set the stage. So Brain Boost is EdApp's answer to spaced learning. It is a feature that leverages an algorithm called SM2, and the algorithm tracks learner behavior. It tracks what content they've completed, it tracks how they've performed and how they scored, and then it aims to repeat that content over the course of the learner's experience in order to embed that content into long-term memory. That is the goal of Brain Boost. Right now, the feature exists in the platform. We released its first iteration of it, probably 18 months ago. But we're just about to release the second version of it, and it's super exciting. So let me show you the video, and hopefully you can be as enthusiastic as I am.
I'm glad I stayed for that, because that pumped me right
that got me pumped up.
Like I'm feeling rock.
I saw that video.
Guys,
I saw that video for the first time today, and it made me want to listen to Akadaka, actually.
Luke, thanks for doing a great job. I'm going to leave it with you, but everyone, I hope you enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to connecting with you after this. Thank you.
Awesome. Jamie's dropping off. Okay, so let me wrap up here, guys. Jamie's just smoke bombed on us, but that's okay. So Brain Boost Iteration 2. Brain Boost Iteration 1 already lives in the platform, but what Iteration 2 is delivering and will be released in a couple of weeks. Currently, we're doing a beta test of it, which you can participate in if you want to reach out to us. But what it's going to give you is easier setup and configuration on the admin side, so more visibility on how to manage Brain Boost and what content is and isn't included for learners. Improved notifications features. Already there are notifications to tell learners when that content is available and when they need to boost. but we've made some improvements there. And then all importantly, the analytics side. So to date, we haven't actually surfaced learner retention rate improvements in the admin side of EdApp. We've always done it custom for customers using this feature. But very shortly, you will see those retention rates in the platform and the ability to assess very easily whether learners' knowledge is increasing, whether your entire team's knowledge is increasing, whether they understand the material that you're releasing out to them. And again, pegging this back to speeding up learner engagement, I don't know if there's a better feature to do it. So I'll skip past this one and let's get into the tool. I'll respect everyone's time before we run out of time. So the way that Brain Boost works is it feeds off content that learners have engaged with in the past. So if I go into this cybersecurity course, and I'll just click through it quickly, as I go through that course, every micro lesson will obviously include pieces of content, storytelling, information about the topic at hand. But typically we love to see assessment templates being interwoven into the material itself. So let's see this assessment question here. So this is called a sentence construction assessment, where the learner is challenged to drag the missing words into the sentence. Let's see how I go here. Okay, I got that one wrong. So Brain Boost has tracked that activity and it knows that I got that question wrong the first time. Let's keep going here. We've got a few other knowledge transfer slides. If I keep clicking through different pieces of information, okay, let's have a look. Lots of rich visuals here with this micro lesson. Okay, we've got another knowledge test. This is a multiple choice question, but it's presented like a text message. It's a great way to kind of formulate the content to be, this role play scenario. So you received an email, X, Y, and Z. What is your answer? It's a multiple choice question at the end of the day. Okay, I got that one right, and it's given me the takeaway there. Some more content here. Let's keep going with it. Okay, another test here. We've got a game this time. So this is a game where we're using statements with multiple choice questions down the bottom. It's timed. The challenge is to get a high score. Got that one wrong. Okay, let's keep going. Got that one right. So Brain Boost is again tracking this activity. I'll let the timer run out and we can get to Brain Boost. Awesome. At the end of this lesson, we've got survey questions if you want to gather qualitative feedback from your audience, and we complete that lesson and save the results. I've actually got a custom achievement set up here, which is one of EdApp's engagement features, which is also a great way to motivate and get your audience excited. So you can see here this little lightning bolt symbol. The lightning bolt takes you to Brain Boost. You can see here, just because I have just completed this content, of course, I can't boost this content right away. The algorithm doesn't want to give me that material right away. It wants to wait for a specific amount of time to repeat that material to me. And subsequently, the notifications that support Brain Boost also follow that timeline so that the learner isn't constantly bombarded with refreshers. It wants to space it out over time to give me a chance to think about it and then refresh in the future. The good news is that I have a test account here that has access to a Brain Boost that's ready to go. You can see in this test account, Brain Boost lives via this lightning bolt, but when there is actually an active Brain Boost quiz to engage with, we can click on it here in the feed. Awesome. So I'm ready to boost. Let's get going. Before I start the boost, it will always tell me which content is included. Obviously, if you push out a range of courses to your audience, Brain Boost is going to pick and choose different material from those courses. And it's important to be informed of what you're going to see before you jump into it. Awesome. So let's start the boost here. Okay, we've got our first question here. This is a slider. Let's go for the max here. Got that wrong, unfortunately. Okay, we've got another dial template. So we've been showing a lot of multiple choice templates in the examples thus far. This one is numeric based, and you'll see that a lot in the tool. You'll see different assessment questions for different types of material. I've got that wrong. I have to get one right here. Micro lessons allow for tailored content to be delivered to your users with ease. Okay, awesome. Hopefully that gets me there. Okay, you see this streak up the top there? That's a reference to how many questions the learner has got correct in a row. And that's one of the improvements with iteration 2, actually. Let's go all of the above. Okay, I'm on a 2 streak here. So there's different features in Brain Boost now to encourage and gamify the experience, so that learners come back and they say, okay, well, the next Brain Boost session, I want to beat my streak of 2 correct answers in a row. I want to go for 10 or 50 or whatever it might be. Let's see how we go here. Let's go for the 3rd. Okay, awesome. And then we have the last question here, again, coming from existing content that I've engaged with. Okay, that's our streak of 4. We can see the post-boost summary here. 4 answer streak, 67% correct, 4 out of 6 correct answers. I can keep boosting if I want, or I can complete that. Really importantly, those questions that I answered incorrect in that boost will be shown at a different cadence from those that I answered correctly. That's the whole idea of spaced repetition, that the material is tailored according to the learner performance. Bobby, any questions on that front there?
I think we've been doing a good job answering them in the chat here. Just one thing I wanted to mention too, just to reinforce this, is that it's so easy to set and forget Brain Boost as an admin. All you really have to do is select which slides from your courseware go towards the Brain Boost. And then that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you have to do. As Luke's going to show you here, it's in the course settings in the engagement tab here. You can select certain slides to be a part of Brain Boost. I see a lot of my clients usually have all of the interactive slides go towards it, but if there was one that you didn't want to include, that's totally fine. And another game changer is that reporting on Brain Boost will be coming out shortly. So that's just another great way to see how your learners are engaging with these Brain Boost sessions. And you can also measure progress from their, first run throughs of the courseware through their Brain Boost sessions. So it's really a game changer, and the automation with Brain Boost is awesome.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Bobby. I agree. The easy configuration side of Brain Boost is a big part of the feature. You want to get this content up and running quickly, which is, again, coming back to the theme of today's session. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time today. Here's a few of our contact details. Reach out to myself. Bobby may have dropped his email in the chat. Jamie, if you're in the UK, there's a big team standing by to talk to you and to help you understand these features further. If you just wanted to hop on for a quick call to unpack any of the material that we covered today, reach out to us. There's people and there's resource standing by to help. Let me just sit back and mention Trade in Your Training again. If you wanted to get us to build a lesson for you, alongside maybe viewing some of the library content, shoot us a note. I think, Bobby, did we post the link to Trade in Your Training to the chat?
We did, actually. Yeah, that was posted up front, but I can post it again before we sign off here really quick.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Otherwise, just email us, guys. Okay, I'll have a look at the little chat here to see if there's any other questions. Hopefully everyone's been helped out today. I've had a lot of fun. It's not Friday there yet for you guys, so I can't say enjoy the weekend, but definitely have a wonderful Thursday.
Thanks so much for everything, Luke.
Awesome. See you guys. See you on the next one.